struggles,
innovation,
going all in,
not holding back,
mindset,
being a leader,
paving their own way,
putting the real in real estate,
listing legacies, selling luxury. You have The Vault.
Unlocking conversations in real estate today. Whether you're joining a team or you're joining real estate as a solo agent, whatever route you're going, get a mentor. Read as many books as you can about business, self-help, real estate. Take all the training you can. If you're a part of a brokerage that offers training, get on every training call that you can.
What is your why? It's a reason why you're here. It's that passion inside, that drive. You know, I think about my why all the time, and it does change, and that's okay. And I think it's being open to letting it change, because we grow as people.
It's important to go to the ones that know, the ones who have done it, who have blazed a path ahead of you, and learn from them and make it easier for yourself. Copy them, duplicate what they do, what they say, how they do everything. And like I said, get in a classroom.
Yeah, I've learned that throughout all the businesses that my wife and I have had. If you put the people first and help them get to their end goal, and you're honest, ethical, and straight up with them, even if you can't do something, or, you know, if it's, I think this person is a better fit, just be completely honest with them. It gets you a lot further.
You know what, you can take the business when it comes and not run yourself ragged. There is a way to do that.
Yeah.
And I personally feel that it won't always be consistent. I feel that like some weeks you can ask me and I'm like, oh, I nailed that. I got this work-life balance, yeah. And then the next week, I'm like, what is happening? I'm not in control of anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do believe that you can have it all, for sure.
Know that you can do this. You are smart. You are able to problem solve. You are able to logically look at a problem and solve for it.
Yeah.
Come to a solution that works for everyone.
Part of me always thought that I wish I had done this a lot sooner.
Yeah.
But then I really think that, you know what, had I have done it sooner, I wouldn't have had the same experiences in my own buying and selling of real estate and my own, you know, occupational therapy career and personal growth and all of that. So really, again, just to understand the work involved and setting the boundaries.
Right, to just focus on whatever you are good at it, whatever you enjoy, be genuine, and that's when people start like connecting with you.
I do like to take risks, and I also like to take opportunities. And when they're presented in front of me, if I see a good opportunity, it's hard for me to say no to.
Thing is to not get frustrated when you show 10 houses and they don't want to offer, or offers don't come together, because it will happen, and it does get very, very frustrating at sometimes. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Right.
I think a piece of advice I would give young people is look at the people around you and surround yourself by people who you want to be like. And if you like something about a role model or someone in your world or someone you see online, figure out what characteristics they have, figure out what they do on a daily basis, and just really model those people, and you'll get years ahead than the average person who's going day to day.
For any of those who are thinking of having a kid and hesitating because of, their business is so busy, do it. Your business will grow twice as much, and you'll find leverage. If you were hesitating to have an admin before, you're not going to hesitate anymore, because, you want that time with your family.
So having good rapport with a client and having good communication with a client means that you open up the opportunity for them to, number one, have a happy transaction with you, but then also having a long-lasting transaction, which then means referrals and multiple transactions from them. So that's the first way that NLP helps support it.
One of the biggest messages to your listeners, if they're a realtor starting out, is if you can follow up at a high level, you don't need leads, you don't need advertising, you can know people, and you will bring business, and you will be separated from 80% of the noise.
I definitely caution people in terms of buying a property without conditions. I know a while back when the market was a little bit crazy, it was the only way people could get properties in Toronto or the GTA. But then you hear some horror stories. Some people would have gone in with no conditions, and then they close the transaction and they discover there's a crack in the foundation, or there's something else that requires, remedying after the fact. It's important that people, obviously if you don't have a choice and you have to go in with no conditions, just be aware of the risks. But obviously very important that you do get someone professional to inspect the property to protect your interests.
Thank you. And don't listen to mortgage calculators that are online.
You cannot do a mortgage pre-approval in 90 seconds, people.
It's not possible.
Can you repeat that?
You cannot do a mortgage pre-approval in 90 seconds. It does not exist. A computer doesn't give you a mortgage, a person does.
That's going to be your quote for the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I encourage everybody to work with a team. Between the other students that I did with schooling that I followed up with, I only know of two that have been successful on their own. And so, yeah, you just don't know what you don't know. And so, yeah, there's so much, like the schooling really just teaches you how not to end up on the wrong side of a lawsuit.
Challenges with that. We've mapped the selling process, for example, and there's 220 tasks from beginning to end when you're going to sell a house, if you're, doing it at a certain level for a client. And I think as an independent agent, I think that your skill set is usually in the area of either sales or operations. And I think it's very difficult for those that are successful on the sales in the sales arena to really be strong on the operation side as well. I think as humans, it's a rare being who is good at both of those.
Eventually the rates will come down. So when we have a recession, the rates will come down because they'll want to put money through the economy again to get it restarted. But right now the Bank of Canada is trying to force a recession by raising rates. So once they have the recession, once they meet their inflation of 2%, then you'll see rates starting to come back down again.
Have the time to sit and learn about all this and leverage it.
Yeah,
for sure.
And the number one thing I would say as a bonus tip would be professional development and learning. And I would say number one thing I hear is, how's the market, Jess? And if I'm not able to answer that, I'm not doing my job.
The number one thing that I, believe in real estate, or give advice to people is, if you're not willing to bet on yourself, how can you ask other people to bet on you or to hire you? Right? So if they're going to put their trust in you, they need to know that you're putting, 100% trust in yourself.
And a tip for if you're just starting and you haven't done any business yet is to get people to write a testimonial about your character. Because I had that when I first started. I was like, can you just write something about me and make it kind of generic, and then it's not necessarily towards me. Like if we hadn't worked together, they couldn't write anything about me being a realtor, but essentially it gives you something to start with.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, because if you come in with scarcity and fear, this is not for you. If you come in with abundance and joy, you're good to go. But if there's fear, right, don't even bother, right? If there's doubt, don't even bother. Like, you can vet this a million ways from Sunday, but when I talk to you, I'm not selling, you're buying.
And I've said this for years. Income producing properties like multifamily, everyone needs a roof over their head. And if it's the middle of the road price point, I feel that that is safe. It's a safe place, and I feel it's semi-recession proof.